What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. I've taken a break from playing Call of Duty, from touching Black Ops 6, and honestly, I don't know if I'm going to go back anytime soon. Nothing about this game entices me to play. There's really no incentive, and it's because the game itself is so unrewarding. Not only is the content unrewarding and bland and boring, but so is the gameplay loop. They try to sugarcoat the gameplay with this fast, twitchy style with the Omni movement, but it just doesn't translate well. It should work, it should play well, but it just doesn't for me. There's something fundamentally missing. The gameplay loop itself feels extremely hollow and unrewarding. A game with this much potential skill gap feels like it's been extremely neutered. And that's been one of the beauties of some games that have had movement in the past, is the skill gap and being able to conquer the skill gap. That doesn't seem to be the case here. And maybe it goes back to map design being absolute garbage, or maybe it's just the gameplay mechanics themselves, or all of the other issues that permeate through this game. You know, the servers, the cheating, the matchmaking, so on and so forth. But it all leads to an extremely unrewarding experience. And it doesn't feel as if I'm getting any better. And I feel like if I'm putting time into the game, I should be feeling like I'm getting better. Like I go play X Defiant, and I feel like I'm getting better. My shots are more consistent. I have better aim. I'm doing better overall. And the game, as a result, becomes more fun because I'm being instantly rewarded for getting better, for learning aspects of the game and being able to take advantage of them. But in Call of Duty, that type of reward is non-existent because of the engagement optimized matchmaking that we see, or the skill-based matchmaking we see. Any step forward is, in fact, 2 steps backwards because we need to ensure that your experience is optimized. And as you guys know, I don't feel very optimized. The gameplay doesn't feel very optimized, but that's just been my experience as of late. With that being said, though, it's not just the gameplay that I feel has really been unrewarding. It's also the content that's available here in Black Ops 6. Like, I was originally excited for the brand new prestige rewards that you get, but it's such a slog to go through the levels because the gameplay itself isn't fun that the rewards don't feel as rewarding. It feels like, oh wow, I got this thing, but really was it worth my sanity? No, none of it is. And honestly, it's a game that prioritizes customization, but doesn't really truly allow you to customize your character how you want. So yeah, there's all these options, but a lot of them are just terrible. Like, let's call it what it is. A lot of the content that's in Call of Duty, whether it's paid or not, is just bad. Like, they don't look good. They don't play well because the graphics in this game are substandard, to say the least. And it just doesn't seem worth it. And then, of course, you have all the paid content that's in the game, and all you do is pay for it. There's no way to earn it. There's no challenge to push towards. And everybody will point to the camel grind that's in Black Ops 6 and say, those are where the real rewards are. I don't care to do that. And it feels like that's all Call of Duty really tries to offer now, is a camel grind, and that's it. If you want a rewarding gameplay experience, go do the camel grind. I don't really care if my gun has, moving elements to the camo or not. It doesn't matter to me. And yeah, maybe it's something cool to show off that you're able to grind the game and get every gun gold. Like, that's an accomplishment for sure. But that shouldn't be the only thing you offer, especially in a $70 base game. Like, I think people lose that point a lot. They lose the plot with that. They keep just looking at Call of Duty like it's games like Fortnite or Apex Legends. It's not. There is a $70 price to entry here, or a monthly game pass of $20 to play this game on a consistent basis. And for whatever reason, we get the bare minimum rewards. And people will turn around again and they'll argue that older games didn't really have rewards either. And that's true for the most part. But a lot of the content that was in the older games, even in the supply drop games, was all earnable. It wasn't hidden behind a paywall. And as much as supply drops are a problem, and I don't want to see them return, at least you could earn a lot of the content that was in the game. And in addition to that, the gameplay loop itself was rewarding because you were able to master certain mechanics and play them to your advantage. Think back to Black Ops 3. Knowing how to properly use one of the specialists and having that as your advantage, understanding the movement in that game and utilizing it to your advantage was massive. Same thing with Advanced Warfare. If you wanted to be a better player, understanding the movement and mastering it gave you advantages. There's some advantages here in Black Ops 6, but a lot of them are only as a result of terrible connection. Oh, you're able to move faster than your opponent because your opponent's connection can't keep up to what your player model's doing. So as a result, you do things that the game can't properly track. So you're kind of taking advantage of bad code versus taking advantage of good movement. Now, of course, there are some excellent players out there who have mastered the movement, have done really cool things, but I just mean it doesn't feel like instant feedback for the player. Because a lot of times, even if you're doing that great movement, something behind the scenes is manipulating it or rigging it against you. And that doesn't sound very fun, now does it? And that's the problem, is they haven't been able to replace an unrewarding gameplay experience with rewarding content. Look at the Squid Game event. I've already talked about it. The free pass is whatever. Like, cool, you get an operator for Squid Game that's not even recognizable from the show. Good job. If you want to get the only cool skin, you have to pay for it. And it's not like any of this content is worthwhile trying to earn. The rewards that are in the game are just kind of whatever. It's an XP grind, like I said. Why aren't there specific challenges associated with the different game modes that the game offers? It seems counterintuitive. Like, rewarding gameplay experiences should be trying to put you in situations you're not normally in. That's why people like the camel grind so much, because it puts them in situations they normally aren't in. How often are you using a pistol as your primary weapon? How often are you trying to do the unique challenges for the launchers? Very rarely. But because you are able to complete those challenges, the gameplay feels more rewarding as a result. It's not something that I'm super into, but I get why people enjoy it. It's rewarding. Where is that same effort? Where is that same reward level for gameplay elements like events? They're non-existent, and it's really stupid. It's a missed opportunity. You want to increase engagement, you want to optimize people's game time, allow them to have challenges to work towards real rewards, because that'll entice people to come back to play. Like, I always look back to the events that were done in MWR, and I constantly wanted to play MWR during their events because they had rewarding rewards. It wasn't that difficult. And in addition to that, I was able to earn some salvage to be able to unlock some new weapons or whatever it might be. Again, it wasn't a perfect system. It was a bad system, but I was still able to unlock things that were quote unquote paid content for free. You can't do that in Call of Duty anymore. Everything that is paid is locked behind a paywall, and you have to sell your kidney for it. Like, I saw that post yesterday that said $800 is what you need to buy everything in Call of Duty, which frankly isn't that high. But when you already have a $70 base game, $800 seems a little egregious already 2 months into the game's life cycle. Now, of course, not everybody's buying everything, but it doesn't matter. It seems that we've prioritized instant gratification and instant rewards over grinding for something special. And again, I get why people like the camel grind. It's not for me. But when that's the only worthwhile reward that your game offers, the game itself is gonna feel and play shallow. And that's exactly where Black Ops 6 is right now for me. I would really love to see Activision and Treyarch change this trajectory, change this idea that you need to have a system like this. Like, it doesn't work. It's not what's best for the community. I doubt that anybody over at Activision feels really cushy right now, judging by those Steam charts. As much as you want to say it's one platform, it's a small sample size, there are players that are leaving. Even if it's 10% of your player base, that can't feel comfortable right now, especially right after Christmas. This is when players should be playing your games and should be interacting with your content, but they're not. And having a bad gameplay experience and a lack of rewards is one of the reasons why people don't want to play your game. Of course, there's other reasons as well, and we've talked about them endlessly on this channel. But man, Do something that makes the player feel rewarded. Do something that feels like it's accomplishing something. That would just be nice to see. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this down below in that comment section. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching the video today. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.